All right. Time to see the lineup, and the Dirt Devil David Garman is on the pole with Kevin Reed to the outside. Matt Johnston and Kyle Holden are the second row. Kellen Mitchner, Harley Barletta in the third row. Then you've got Aiden Trevette and Jared Heasley. Richie West and AJ Godsey round out the top 10. Zach Henson and Jeff Hinkle are 11th and 12th. JJ Parr and Jason Rome 13th and 14th. 15th is Larry Ashby. 16th is Nicole Creasel. Then Mike Smith, Rick Sargent, Topher Baltimore, and Scotty Tuhati rounding out the field. As we watch them getting ready to line up, just want to give a shout out to both Scotty Tuhati Designs and to Boogity Motorsports, both who do our paint jobs, and of course to NSM Wraps, who is one of the race sponsors and takes care of David Garman's paint schemes. And they are burning extra fuel. Some of these guys are on the gas, ready to go. They're using the Porsche pace car tonight, as you can see there at the front. Or you can see the back end of it. We'll try and get a different angle on it. Nope. David Garman on the front row with Kevin Reed. Kyle Holden and Matt Johnston there. Kyle's having a little bit of connection issues there. Then you got Kellen Mitchner in the 47, Harley Barletta in the 55, Aiden Trevette back there in the 11, and Jared Heasley running that beautiful car. AJ Godsey back there in the 5 car. And I have not taken a close look at Richie's paint job this week, but that has been a source of amusement at times over the last few weeks. He ran a Munsters paint job, a Scooby-Doo paint job, and I cannot exactly tell what he is running. Zootopia. He's running a Zootopia paint scheme tonight. How cool is that? I know he has a lot of cool paint schemes, and we've got a lot of great guys that do paints for everybody in the league, and some great sponsors here as well tonight. All right, as they work their way up through the S's, pace car will drop off as they come around the final corner. They will restart, or they will start the race on the green. However, after the competition caution at lap 25, at the start of lap 25, they'll throw the competition caution, and after that, the second start will be on the leader. So the leader at that time will be able to control it. And it looks like Garmin's already started playing just a little bit. Just a couple more corners before that pace car drops off, and we will be watching. We'll keep an eye on these leaders, but the interesting thing is going to be what happens going into turn 1 mid-pack. Everybody might have a slightly different braking point, plus everybody is on cold tires. Some of these guys will have been riding their brakes. That is the most efficient way to warm up the tires in iRacing. However, some of these guys, you see them weaving back there, trying to put some heat in those tires, get them warm enough to give them a little bit of grip. Looks like the field is not bunched up very well. They're going to try and bunch up here. There they come. They're starting to get packed back up now. Pace car is down. David Garman will lead them. Green flag is in the air. The noses drop as they hit the gas. And Matt Johnston already making the move for second in the 93. Both of them check up for turn 1. Kevin Reed goes wide, but takes advantage of that extra distance. Did not see any problem. Looked like Nicole Creasel was slowed through turn 1 and went too high. She's going to have to recover just a little bit. Everybody seems to make it up through the S's clear. There is Mike Smith in the Boogity Motorsports car, looking back through the pack just to see if we have any problems, and we're getting around the first lap rather quickly. In the meantime, the Dirt Devil, David Garman, has already started to open up a bit of a lead here. Second place, Matt Johnston has managed to get around Kevin Reed in third. Harley Barletta has picked up 2 spots since the start. He is now up to fourth and starting to look for the pass on Kevin Reed. Aiden the Kid Trevette back there currently in 6th, started in 7th, so he's moved up a position, as has Jared Heasley, Richie West, AJ Godsey. Jeff Hinkle's picked up 2 spots from 12th to 10th. JJ Parr has picked up 2 spots from 13th to 11th on the first lap. Matt Johnston trying to close back up to the bank bumper. David Garman's got far enough away that he might be able to break the draft, and that's going to make it even harder for Matt to catch up to him. Kevin Reed holding on to third, but he's now got the 55 right to the back bumper, and Kellen Mitchner right there as well. Kellen is another one, part of the BRR Endurance team. Very good at these road races. It's going to be hard to hold him back for very long. I would imagine the only reason he is holding back at this moment in time is just tire saving strategy. These tires do start getting slick here after about 10 laps. They can go 17 laps, 17 to 20 on the fuel they have, but the tires will feel terrible. We'll actually start to see cars sliding around. And looks like there might have been an issue at the back of the field. Let's see what happened. That is the Boogity Motorsports car of Mike Smith. Gets a little wide, a little loose, holds it, trying to stay out of the way, gets into the K-rail, and barely stays out of the way of Nicole Creasel. Kevin Reed has had an incident as well. Action all over the track. It looks like Harley Barletta might have been involved in that. Kevin got extremely loose coming into the S's. He collects Harley Barletta. It looks like Kellen Mitchner got through clean. Looks like everybody managed to get through fairly clean, but those two are going to have to go in for repairs. Looks like Mike Smith is back out. Harley Barletta might have just had another issue. There's the 55. He is heavily damaged, just trying to limp it back to pit road. He completely skips the bus stop. Probably a wise move. It looks like his steering is not right at all. And that is why he decided to get towed to pit road. Hopefully Harley will be able to get back out there. Harley is one that is locked into the chase, so hopefully he can continue on, but he is locked in regardless. And attrition might be the name of the game for some of these people here tonight. Aiden Trevette now up to third. Started in 7th. The kid has picked up 4 spots. And good evening. Looks like Nicole Creasel might have had an incident. As we see Mike Smith again having some problems. Nicole Creasel coming into the last turn just got a little bit loose and ended up pointed out to the outside. Zach Henson has also been involved in an accident. That comes as a bit of a shock. Let's see what happened to the 24 car. Just a little bit loose coming in through the big right-hand sweeper mid-track, and he gets it straightened out. Everybody gets around him. Meanwhile, David Garman continues to click off the laps. He's on lap number 5 now, and starting to open up a bit of a lead here. Garman continuing to open up a lead. Looking through here, Matt Johnston currently running second. Aiden Trevette up to third from starting in 7th, so a huge jump for him. Kellen Mitchner starting to work his way forward. He's now up to 4th. Richie West, obviously he's put in a ton of practice this week. He is now up to 5th after starting in 9th. Great job by him. And here comes Jeff Hinkle, who started in 11th and is up to 6th. And if anybody can make those tires last longer than everybody else and pick up speed as they get later in the run, that is definitely that 23 car of Hinkle. He is the king of saving tires. AJ Gotze started in 10th, now up to 7th. JJ Parr started in 13th and up to 8th. And Jared Heasley is back to 9th, and Kyle Holden, after the incident earlier, back to 10th. Really impressed by Richie West's performance so far tonight. He's another one that's not a huge road racer, but here he is picking up a ton of positions and moving towards the front. Currently the gap from the leader back is 3 seconds, and let's take a ride along with David Garman as he comes out, and we'll do a lap of this track in what is obviously the fastest car on track tonight. There is the start-finish line, and you'll see him start to slow down. Getting down there on the apex, he is not taking the wide line through here. He's taking that shorter line, slowing down a bit more on entry to get more speed off. As you come up the S's, you hear him feathering the throttle there, just trying to keep the car from spinning out, but getting the most out of it he possibly can. He hits the top of the hill, goes full throttle. Starts checking up and shifting down to get into the bus stop. Slides it through the bus stop, little squirrely off the rumble strips, manages to hold on to it. Nice and easy through the big sweeping right-hander. And full throttle once again as he comes up to lap Nicole Kriesel for the first time. Nicole struggled here so far. She was had a really good run last time we were here. As David comes through the last two, she had a really good run and ended up with a decent finish last time we were at the Glen, but having a rough start to the night tonight. And that is a lap of Watkins Glen in a cup car, and he did that in a minute and 16 seconds. Seeing a lot of notes that several cars have been on and off track. Probably see a lot of that. Rick Surgeon just went off track. Nicole Kriesel, we saw her off track earlier. Mike Smith has been off track. Looking through the list to see. Harley Barletta and Nicole Kriesel, the only two cars currently a lap down. It looks like Topher Baltimore and Scotty Tuhati did not start the race tonight. And yes, cautions are actually turned off for the road course, so that's a plus, but they will have the competition caution at the start of lap 25. Here comes Kellen Mitchner trying to run down Aiden the Kid Trevette. Kid currently running in third, trying to run down Matt Johnston. Matt currently about 10 seconds ahead of Aiden, and Aiden has to deal with Kellen on his back bumper. As I mentioned earlier, Kellen is one of our road racing aces. He puts in a lot of time on these road courses, so he knows every nook and cranny of them. It definitely has a bit of an advantage here. And it looks like Kellen is starting to set up for the pass going into the bus stop. The kid drove in a little bit deeper. He couldn't make it happen. Richie West, while these two are going at it up here, Richie West has managed to close up on him. And Rick Sargent has been in an issue. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Rick. Going down the front straightaway into turn one. I told you before the race we would see a lot of incidents. He got on the brakes a little too hard. It locked the back ones up and turned him around. Manages to save it, keep it off that outside wall, and he's going to keep going. It looks like he didn't lose any positions. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but Rick currently running back in 15th. He is up 3 spots from where he started in 18th. Ten laps in, we should start seeing pit stops in about 5 laps. Once the green flag pit stops come out, that's where a lot of strategy is going to come into play. We'll see how things play out. We'll actually talk to Jared Heasley between the pit stops and the competition caution at lap 25. We'll get to give him a little bit of a shout and see what he's got to say about some of the strategies going on. As Aiden Trevette just got passed by Kellen and about to... Looks like Aiden had a bit of an off track. Let's see what happened here. As he got in there trying to stay in front of Kellen, he got in just a little too deep. Tried to get back on it too soon. Ended up coming across the grass. Managed to hold it down, so that was a great job not sliding up into Kellen or Richie. And he is going to maintain, looks like, 4th position now. That moves Kellen Mitchner up to 3rd. Meanwhile, way up front, David Garman still just putting on a road racing clinic here tonight. And these Cup cars are not like the GT cars a lot of these guys drive. There's only 4 speeds versus 5, 6, or 7. The brakes are not the best brakes in the world at all. In addition to, the tires are designed for oval cars and they don't grip quite as well. Plus, these cars are just heavy. And it looks like Nicole Kriesel is slow going into the last turn. I'm not sure. Looks like she was in an accident. Here she comes, coming to the second to last turn. Oh, yeah, she got a little bit wide coming through the second to last turn. Managed to hold her position until the car closest to her got by. As Garmin continues to full send it up the hill. Looks like Nicole Kriesel has gone to pit road to get her repairs done. So just looking at the pit strategy, 17 to 20 laps on a tank of fuel. She's in a position now where she might be able to play a little strategy game to reclaim a lap or to possibly pick up some positions. So we'll have to see what she does as things go on. And we will watch Garmin here for a few minutes as we're coming to lap 13, just a few laps away from the start of green flag pit stops. Kyle Holden, no, that was a technical glitch. It looked like he had gone to pit road, but he is not. He is still on track. There's Kyle. Just to update you on a couple of cars we've seen have issues tonight, Mike Smith is still on the lead lap. He's actually in 16th. He's picked up a spot. Harley Barletta is fully repaired. He is back in 17th, but with the competition caution coming, all he has to do is stay on that lead lap for now. He just has to keep David Garman behind him, and he will be fine. And it looks like Mike Smith might have been involved in another incident as he comes down the front straightaway off into turn 1. And we'll probably see that a few times out of several drivers. He just got a little too hard onto the brake. That actually gave Harley Barletta a chance to pick up position. Kevin Reed is the first one to come down for green flag stops here at lap 13. That is a lot sooner than we expected out of anybody. So the start of lap 14, he's on pit road. They'll have a competition caution in about 11 laps. Now they can pit, get 4 tires and a full tank of fuel and not lose a lap here. So this might be a smart strategy. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But David Garman just went by him, so we'll have to wait for scoring to update. He might have lost a lap doing that. He had not drifted that far back, so we'll have to see how this strategy plays out. And of course, Garman will have to pit before they get to the caution, so looking to see, nobody else has come to pit. Looks like Mike Smith is coming down pit road now. He's going to get some fresh tires. And remember, strategy has to, you have to be conservative with the tires. They only had 4 sets of tires. The one they started on and 3 additional. So they've got to make it at least 10 to 12 laps per set. We might see a couple of guys try and do this on only 2 stops. There were several guys that practiced running this week to split it up to go 20 laps, and 10. So we'll see how that plays out. If that strategy is the better one, or these guys that are stopping earlier like Kevin Reed, we'll see if that pays off having the fresher tires. Let's take a look as Kevin comes around to start another lap. We'll watch as when he comes back to the start finish line. It'll be interesting. 117 out of David Garman last lap. We'll see if Kevin Reed is substantially faster, if he can start making up some ground on those fresher tires, if a 3-stop strategy is the better way to go here. Kevin Reed coming around to complete his first full lap after his pit stop, so we'll see what the time difference is here. Looks like Jeff Hinkle has now come to pit road in the 23 car. Kyle's still having a technical, a blinking issue every now and then, so we lose a little bit of sight of him for a moment. Kevin Reed coming down. He's going to cross the start-finish line. Let's see what his lap time was this time. He was he's actually 3 seconds faster this lap than David Garman. Garman ran a 1:19. Kevin ran a 1:16. Kevin not being that far behind on track. It'll be interesting. Can he unlap himself? Can he get to the back bumper of Garman and unlap himself before Garman has to go to pit road? If he does, that's definitely the smartest strategy move out there. And Jason Rome in the 81 gives up 12th to go to pit road. We are about where we expected to start seeing a lot of the green flag stops. Now, when the leader goes, several cars will follow. David Garman skips pit entry this time. Matt Johnston coming around. And Kevin Reed now right back to the back bumper of the second place car. Aiden Trevette still out. He's coming around to pit road with, I do believe, AJ Gotze right behind him. Neither of those two cars go to pit road. And here comes Jared Heasley on lap 17. We'll see if he pits this time. If he does, we'll talk to him once he's back out on track. Jared Heasley is jumping to pit road this time. The 32 is on pit road. The 64 has been on pit road. And Kevin Reed is definitely faster than everybody else on track right now, having got those 4 fresh tires. With 8 laps of green flag racing before they get a competition caution, this is definitely going to be very interesting to see how things play out here. And of course, Larry Ashby out there in the 34, currently running in 9th place in the Christy Mays car. He's doing an outstanding job. He is another member of the BRR Endurance team. And him and that gentleman in front of him, the 9, Mike Smith, both teammates, as all the leaders are now coming to pit road. Garmin is on pit road. Johnston is on pit road. Trevette is now on pit road. AJ Gotze's on pit road. Richie West is on pit road. Kyle Holden chose to stay out. And Kyle just assumed the lead, so he'll get some bonus point for leading a lap. Larry Ashby is staying out. Yes, he is. Larry and Jeff Hinkle are the two you would expect to stretch tires and fuel the longest. Those two are extremely good at saving their stuff. And now we'll have to see. Kevin Reed's been out there for about 6 laps on those tires. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely talk to him under caution and see what his strategy is here. All right. Let's go find Jared Heasley on the track. There's Mr. Heasley. He ducks off into turn 1. When he gets to the top of the S's, we will talk to him. Jared, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
What's going on, Doug?
Hey, looks like everybody else followed your pit strategy.
Yeah, not surprising. We had a window, and that's about where everybody went. It wasn't my original strategy, but the tires aren't feeling good. I wasn't going to take tires there. I was just going to take fuel and get to the stage. But tires weren't feeling as good as I wanted them, so I went ahead and took, so we'll see.
Well, you're having a pretty good race so far. You're moving up through the top 10 progressively. You think you got anything if you can get up close to Garmin at the stage break?
Dave is in a league of his own at these road courses and Cup cars. I don't think anybody has a chance for him, but a top 5 is not the question, I don't think.
All right, man. Well, best of luck, and hopefully things turn your way.
Yep, thanks, Doug.
All right, that was Jared Heasley, driver of the number 32, the one driver we talked to ahead of time to make sure that we could talk to him under green flag conditions. Now, when we go to the Fast and Fun race later tonight, not only have I been told that I'm allowed to talk to any of the drivers at any point, regardless of green or yellow, it's kind of being encouraged. A great group of guys that have a ton of fun racing with them, and really looking forward to this broadcast with them. So you do not want to miss that. That one will start right around 9 Eastern. Pretty much as soon as this one ends, that one will begin. We'll get swapped over and try and get some pre-race interview with James Harris, if at all possible. All right, it looks like just about everybody has gone to pit road. With that cycle of stops, Kevin Reed, having stopped a little bit earlier, is now up to back up to 10th. And Rick Sargent has had an issue. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Rick. That crewman is standing right in front of the camera constantly. Rick, there in that last corner. That is one place where a lot of guys... Oh, Jared Heasley right behind him just narrowly avoids that. And it looked like the kid might have had a problem. And it looks like he may have had a problem again in the bus stop there. He manages to save it, but Aiden's definitely struggling a bit in the bus stop here tonight. All right, David Garman currently in the lead. And I do believe he is on the verge of lapping Jason Rome, but Jason only has to hold him off for about 4 more laps. Be interesting to see if Jason can hold him off for another. Jason's in 13th, so that tells you how many cars that have been lapped so far, despite scoring not updating as quickly as we'd like. We'll let this cycle back through and see where everybody is. Looks like Jason's going to give Garmin a little bit of room here. Looks like 12 cars left on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is the 34 of Larry Ashby. Everybody else has been lapped by the Dirt Devil himself. And he has also opened up a gap on Matt Johnston, even bigger. Prior to the pit stops, Garmin had a 5-second lead over second place Johnston. Kellen Mitchner is currently back in third. Now it's an almost a 10-second lead Garmin has over Matt, and an almost 19-second lead over Kellen Mitchner. Aiden Trevette, despite the problems in the bus stop, is still managing to maintain fourth. Richie West, huge shout out. He has got that car up to fifth now. And here comes AJ Godsey. Not a huge surprise there. AJ is extremely good on dirt, extremely good on oval, and obviously he's learned a little something about doing some road racing. He is now up to 6th after starting in 10th. Jeff Hinkle currently running 7th after starting in 12th. He has picked up quite a few spots there, and he's definitely, it looks like he is taking a very conservative lap and still managing to lay down some pretty good laps. But he is not pushing that car to its limit, just trying to save his stuff. That is how a guy like Jeff Hinkle beats you, is he just holds on to his stuff better and takes better care of it. Kyle Holden started up in 4th. He's now back to 8th. Heasley has lost 1 spot. He is back to 9th after starting in 8th. Zach Henson started in 11th. He is up to 10th. Kevin Reed, after that pit strategy, he is back up in 11th after being a lap down at one point. And there is Larry Ashby. He is currently the last car on the lead lap and just a couple of laps away from the competition caution, but he's also, you saw in the back of the shot there, David Garman is closing on him. And looks like as they start this will be the start of lap 24 for David Garman, which means Larry only has to hold him off for 1 more lap, and he will manage to stay on the lead lap, be able to go in, get a new set of tires if he chooses, get a little bit more fuel. Looks like Nicole Creasel a little slow in the S's. Larry gets by her easily. No problems there. Looks like there might have been a battle going on between Mike Smith and Rick Sargent. Let's see what happened here. Rick came off that wide sweeper and just gets into the wall right in front of Heasley, but Heasley manages to get around cleanly. Rick having a tough night, and there's road course racing is not easy for an oval driver, and these cars are not easy to drive on a road course, so it's definitely extremely difficult to get these cars around here, and the fact that some of these guys do it as well as they do is truly impressive. And it looks like there might be a slight delay on that competition caution. We'll have to wait and see. Larry Ashby still managing to stay right out in front of David Garman, but just barely. We'll see if he can get to the end of the lap. And Larry Ashby's one you never count out. He is another one extremely good at saving his tires, and he's managing to hold Garmin off. It looks like he might have found another gear there briefly. And there is the competition caution. So as they run now, it is David Garman first, Matt Johnson second, Kellen Mitchner third, Aiden the Kid Trevette fourth, AJ Godsey managed to get around Richie West for fifth. Richie is sixth, seventh is Jeff Hinkle, eighth is Kyle Holden. Jared Heasley is ninth, Zach Henson is 10th, Kevin Reed is an 11th, and Larry Ashby is the last car on the lead lap in 12th. Then you've got JJ Parr, Jason Rome, Harley Barletta, Mike Smith, Rick Sargent, and Nicole Kriesel rounding out the 18-car field. And I definitely want to try and talk to that 64 car. We'll let him get gathered up with the cars in front of him real quick, and we'll see if we can get a hold of him. And I have to agree that the Glen is one of the best road courses for NASCAR. The second best would have to be Sears Point, or whatever they call it now, the one in Sears Point. And beyond that, I do not like road courses in NASCAR. I don't like the idea of them going to Circuit of the Americas. But, hey, that is my opinion. And it looks like it's going to take a minute for everybody to get back. They had gotten so scattered out, it's taken a minute for everybody to get packed back up. Let's take a look and see where the leader is. He's almost at the end of the track here. Kevin just coming to the top of the S's. They're gaining on him. Obviously, they are still at speed. They'll have to slow down here as they come through the bus stop, but we'll see if they can get back up there and we can talk to Kevin. I actually like the Sonoma road course. Although I will say the rally course at Sonoma is the best part of Sonoma. All right, looks like all the leaders are going to pit road. David Garman, Matt Johnston, Kellen Mitch, everybody in the top 10 has hit pit road, except Zach Henson. He is still showing out. I just don't know if he's gotten to it yet. And Kevin Reed is going to stay out. All right, let's see if we can talk to Kevin. Hey, Kevin, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, man. So you stopped earlier than everybody else, and you're still staying out here at the moment. What's the strategy?
Well, I just got the lucky dog, so I figured, well, I got to stay out here and at least get this lap. But, you know, I came in early because I had some damage and the car really started showing it. So I had to keep her out here for at least this, you know.
10-4. So you going to be able to get back up there? You were running really good early in the race. You think you got something for these top guys?
I don't know. I hope so. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, bud. Best of luck to you, man.
Thanks, Doug.
All right, that was Kevin Reed, and you can see he's definitely trying to work his way back up in there. Let's see. As they run around, let's see if we can get a hold of Matt here. Hey, Matt, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yo, what's good?
Hey, man. So you got anything for the Dirt Devil up there?
No, he's too fast, man. Like, you know, these guys are just practicing all week. They're working so hard, and what can I do against that, you know?
Well, you were still putting on an impressive show, and you managed to stay right there within striking distance that first 10, 15 laps. So you got a heck of a run going.
Well, thanks, Doug. We'll see what I can bring David here in the second half of the race, and see what happens.
All right, man. Good luck.
All right, thank you very much.
All righty. Let me see if I can get a hold of Trevette here. Hey, kid, this is Doug. You got me?
Oh, got you, Doug.
Hey, man, heck of a run. I was not expecting to see you be quite this fast on the road course, but you've been in the top 5 all night. You're running third, picking up some spots there.
I don't know how this is happening, but I'm here right now, so we're running.
You think you got anything for that 06 car in front of you?
Probably not, but we'll see here.
And it looked like you were struggling just a bit getting off the bus stop. Saw you get a little off track there. You going to try and change things up a little bit the second half?
Yeah, the whole time I've been trying to get a faster run through the bus stops where I'm killing time at, so that's what I've been doing.
All right, man. Well, best of luck. And might I suggest backing up your entry to the bus stop just a hair and making sure you're angled correctly and then hitting the gas a little harder.
Sounds good. I'll try that.
All right, man. Best of luck, buddy.
I'll have fun.
All right. That was Aiden the Kid Trevette. You guys are cracking me up in the chat. I have to agree that there is no road course in the world as bad as the Charlotte Roval, and it's perfectly fine to cheer for Heasley, but I don't think Garmin needs a cheering section here tonight. Lights are still on the pace car. I do believe they will go one more lap. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a hold of Kellen. Hey, Kellen, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug.
Hey, man. You're having a pretty good run, but I honestly expected you to be the road course ace here tonight.
No, I mean, David's always faster than I am. We can run the same hot lap, but when it comes down to saving tires and running laps consecutively, he's definitely got me. And Matt, he's always fast, so I think I got a third place car.
So we can expect to see you up in third before this is all said and done.
I should be. We'll see what happens.
All right, man. And hey, you're putting in the practice at the ring, so we can excuse you on this one.
I gotcha.
All right. Best of luck, buddy.
Yep, thanks.
As I mentioned, Kellen, as well as myself and the rest of the BRR Endurance team, have been putting in the extra time. We've started practicing for the 24 hours of the ring. I had a horrible practice the other day, or yesterday, actually. But I know a couple of the guys had really good practices out there, and I'm surprised I am not seeing Bill Percy. He might be at work tonight, but Bill Percy was out there practicing with us as well, and our British team members, Dave Smith and Graham Bardsley, huge shout out to them. They are not only our teammates, they are more or less our teachers, and Graham Bardsley is just the king of the ring. All right, as they line up, it's going to be Larry Ashby stayed out. Larry Ashby is currently in second place. Great job, buddy. Larry always finishes good at the road course races, and he is another member of the endurance team, but yeah, he started back in 15th, and I do believe it is strategy that has kept him moving to the front. I'm not sure what his pit strategy was, but he is definitely up there on the front row next to Garmin now. Pace car is off. Garmin is away. Off into turn one. The 11 and Garmin are side by side. Cars are going backwards. It looks like Larry Ashby's older tires definitely hurting him. Larry Ashby slipped back to about 6th now after restarting in second. We'll see if he can stop the backward slide. I do believe he stayed out longer than everybody else so far, so he's on the much older tires. And I don't know what happened, but Aiden the Kid Trevette is now in the lead. Seeing if we can get a shot of that pass. Getting a look at the pass as they came down into turn one. One lap after that was right on the restart. He managed to carry enough momentum to hold the 06 off. So huge shout out to the kid, the youngster showing him around the track tonight. Went a little wide into turn one that time, but he is still managing to hold off Garmin. We'll see if he can save enough tires to keep that lead. Garmin back to second. Johnston is still in third. Kellen Mitchner fourth, and we've got a car sliding. I believe that was AJ Godsey. Yes, it was. AJ having some trouble coming up out of the S's. Jason Rome had some difficulty back in the pack. Let's see if we can see what happened with Jason. And it is very easy to overshoot that corner. And it looked like he went all the way out and might have gotten some damage. That is a heartbreak. I wanted to see Jason have a good run here tonight. He has put in a ton of practice this week. Meanwhile, the kid to the front. AJ Godsey did not lose any positions in that little bit of an incident at the top of the S's. Let's see if he figured out what happened here. Now remember, they cannot go the full 25 laps. Actually, with the pace laps, it'll be questionable if anybody can go the distance. They had 19 laps to go. They restarted with 21 to go. If somebody was very careful on and off the gas, they might be able to stretch that fuel, but we saw most of these guys going, was that Kellen? I do believe Kellen Mitchner, he was a little loose coming up off the S's, overcooked it a little bit, and just a little bit off the grass. And it looks like Kevin Reed has been involved in an incident. Kevin coming into the second to last turn, just a little too much brake and hits that inside wall. Manages to get it turned and keep going the right way. Let's see, he did not enter pit road. Looks like he's going to take a lap to assess the damage there. Meanwhile, Kellen Mitchner still holds on to fourth. AJ Godsey now up to fifth. And AJ starting to run Kellen down. He's got Kyle Holden right behind him as well. Richie West, we talked about his run a little bit earlier. Huge shout out to Richie as well. Not a huge road course racer, but he is currently running 7th after starting 9th, and he was up there in the top 5 earlier. He'd managed to work his way up there, so I think we're about to see a battle for the lead. Aiden Trevette in the 11, and there's where he's been having problems. Just overcooked it again, trying to get off the turn. And he had a slowdown penalty for that, and that allowed the 06 and the 93 Dirt Devil and Matt Johnston to get by. Let's see, hopefully the kid can get back up here and challenge these two. Hopefully Matt can stay on the back bumper of Garmin. Just a lot going on track tonight. Kyle Holden is having some serious connection issues at this point. He's blinked out a couple of times for large periods of time. Hopefully he will be able to stay with it. Richie still up in 7th, trying to regain some positions here. Jeff Hinkle there in 9th. Now, we mentioned it's going to be a stretch for them to go from the restart all the way to the end of the race. If anybody can do it, it'd be that 23 car. He is just the best at saving tires, saving fuel. Larry Ashby did not pit under that caution. He is now back to, he restarted in the lead. He's now back to 12th. Still on the lead lap, though. We've got 14 cars on the lead lap. Harley Barletta currently running in 14th, trying to reclaim some positions. It looks like Harley is now a lap down, so he is the first car 1 lap down. Garmin starting to open up a little bit of a lead over Matt. Aiden Trevette trying to close back down on Matt. Aiden just about 1.3 seconds behind. We'll see if he can, behind the second place car, we'll see if he can reclaim that position. It's going to be extremely hard for him to catch back up to Garmin, though. And now he's going to have to worry about the 47 of Kellen Mitchner. JJ Parr currently still in the lead lap in 11th, and Mike Smith appears to have had an issue. Let's see what happened. And as we mentioned earlier, a lot of the issues we'll see tonight happen in turn 1, and this is an example of it. He just overcooked it and then got on the brakes too hard. Kevin Reed manages to sneak by. Kevin Reed now back in 13th after that incident right after the restart. 15 laps to go, and if anybody has to absolutely stop, they could stop any point from here on out. We'll have to keep a close eye on the positions, but doesn't look like anybody has quite gone to pit road yet. We'll keep a very close eye on that, though. They can go the distance from here if they couldn't after the restart. The fuel window was 17 to 20 laps. We'll see if that comes into play again. I would imagine it would, but it'll be very close if it does. And it looks like the 93 of Matt Johnston has closed back up a little bit on David Garmin. In certain sections of the track, it looks like Matt is actually faster. Richie West is now taking over 6th from AJ Godsey. Jared Heasley has worked his way back up into 8th spot, and he is charging forward. You heard him say he's put in a lot of practice this week, and he was not going to get tires on his first stop, but ended up changing his plan at the last minute. The tires were just going away too much. Heasley appears to be gaining on AJ right now. AJ currently in 7th as they come up through the S's. Back up front, Matt Johnston is not letting Garmin get away at all. In fact, he is starting to close the gap. Aiden Trevette just 3 seconds back from these two. Currently still running in 3rd. Kellen Mitchner right behind him. Kyle Holden to 5th, Richie West 6th, AJ Godsey 7th, Jared Heasley still in 8th. Larry Ashby made his pit stop. So now Larry will come out with the freshest tires and a full tank of fuel, but will he lose a lap here is the question. Doesn't look like he got off pit road in time. He is not going to lose a lap. Matt Johnston is taking the lead. Looks like Nicole Creasel had a problem back there, and that allowed Matt to get a better run. He managed to avoid a little bit better than Nicole. Or, I'm sorry, he managed to avoid a little bit better than David. Got a run through those final 2 corners, had the preferred line, and even with a little wiggle managed to get the lead. Looks like Zach Henson has now gone to pit road. And Matt is starting to open up a lead. Plus, with that little bit of an incident, Aiden Trevette has managed to close back up to within a second. Looks like Harley Barletta has also come to pit road. Been to pit road, I should say. So he can go the distance. This is going to be an interesting battle right here. When they were at Daytona Road just a few weeks ago, David Garmin managed to run away from the field and have a huge dominant win. Tonight, it does not look like it's going to happen again, as here comes Matt Johnston currently in the lead. 12 laps to go, and Matt Johnston is... AJ Godsey went to pit road. Matt has a 1 second lead now. A moment ago, Mike Smith had another issue. We'll see. It looked like it was on the back, on the long straightaway coming into the bus stop. Just got a little bit in the grass as he was getting on the brakes, and that that can cause problems. All right, Matt Johnson and David Garmin now to pit road. Aiden the Kid Trevette in the lead. Aiden over Cook's turn 1 just a little bit, but regardless, he is in the lead. Jeff Hinkle now on pit road. That one comes as a shock. I kind of thought Jeff would try and stretch it. So now the question becomes, who gets off pit road first, Matt or David? And it's going to be Matt off pit road first. Aiden Trevette should still need one more stop here. They are nose to tail coming through the S's. This can go very, very badly very quickly, but both of them are great drivers. We'll see if they can hang on to it. Tires are still cold too. It's going to take them almost a full lap to get those tires up to full temperature and get 100% of their grip back. 11 laps to go, and Aiden Trevette now has a 3-second lead over Kyle Holden. David Garman and Matt Johnston, however, do have to work their way through. Kyle Holden and Kellen Mitchner and Jared Heasley all hit pit road. I was about to say Matt and David would have to work through a lot of traffic, but everybody seems to be pitting. They know that they're going to lose a lot of time on these guys with fresh tires. They've got to make a pit stop now, and that could bunch some of this pack back up a little bit. That moves Matt and David back up to third and fourth. Richie West in second place. Richie 6 seconds behind the leader. Matt and David are 10 seconds behind the leader. Or I'm sorry, 20 seconds behind the leader. Now, how far can Aiden stretch that with 10 laps to go? If he's going to pit, he needs to do it while they are that far back. He is not pitting yet, getting a little squirrely. You can see those tires starting to go away just a little bit. This has definitely played out differently than what we expected. And thank you to Larry Barletta. I'm doing great tonight. I hope you are too, buddy. Speaking of Barletta, let's see. Harley is still trying to recover a little bit. He is in 14th now. He is locked into the playoffs, though. After an early incident, he's had a pretty good recovery. Stayed on the lead lap for quite a while. Matt Johnston, though, currently wants, if Aiden Trevette pits, and that is becoming a big question here. If Matt Johnston gets the win here tonight, that will lock him in. Matt was the one that was pretty much out of the playoffs coming into tonight. He is currently 12th. However, with David Garman being in 13th with a win, David Garman was locked in. Therefore, it would have bumped Matt out. Matt could take the win here tonight, and it would bump, I do believe it would bump Rick Sargent out of the race, or out of the playoffs, excuse me. As the 11 car now coming to pit road. Richie West now to the lead. Great job, Richie. A little bit of strategy to get some bonus points here. And Richie might be, let's look at his lap time real quick. Aiden Trevette is now to third, now to fourth. While he is sitting on pit road, he lost second and third. Richie has an 18-second lead right now. David Garman and Matt Johnston last time by were 3 seconds a lap faster with 8 laps to go. As long as, oh, that is very, very close. It's one thing for those two guys to get to Richie. It may be another thing entirely for them to pass him. And if they continue battling each other, that might give Richie the advantage he needs. Matt is still trying to open up. He's got 2.5 seconds on David Garman right now. You heard Matt say in the during the caution, Matt made the comment that he didn't think anybody had anything for Garmin, and yet here he is pulling away from him. Matt's closed down another 2 seconds on Richie West with 7 laps to go. Richie is not in the top 12. He wasn't even on the bubble coming into the night. If he can stretch that and stay in front of him, just going to take a quick look at BRRpoints.com and see. As Matt continues to try and run Richie down. And Richie coming to pit road now. So he is going to give up the lead. He has picked up the bonus points for leading a couple of laps. Matt Johnston will now take the lead. Matt currently opening up a lead as he comes through turn 1 over David Garman, which comes as a bit of a shock. Richie is one that is just outside the playoff bubble there. If Matt gets the win tonight, he will secure his spot into the playoffs, and then we'll Rick Sargent will be really on the bubble after that. We'll have to see how the rest of the season plays out. With only 5 races left before the playoffs, it's definitely getting interesting. And as Matt comes around, 1.3 second lead here. He is going to take the start finish line. 5 laps to go. And you know he's got to be hoping that Garmin just cannot close that gap up. Matt is doing a tremendous job of putting a little bit of space between him and Garmin and just maintaining right now. He doesn't need to run away from him. All he's got to do is just maintain that little gap and make no mistakes here. Coming in to the top of the S as he opened that lead up to 1.5 seconds. He's going to come around, and the 81 of Jason Rome is back there behind him. Or right in front of him, excuse me. So he's going to be closing in on Jason Rome momentarily. Coming down, 4 laps to go. This is definitely a different outcome than I think anybody was expecting here tonight. And don't forget, immediately after we talk to Matt, we will be switching over to join the Fast and Fun guys at Las Vegas in the F1 cars. I'm a bit excited by this one. I'm a little bit speechless here. Matt is opening up a bigger and bigger lead. He's got almost a 2-second lead over David Garman. Kyle Holden currently running 3rd. 4th is Kellen Mitchner. Aiden Trevette is dropped to 5th, and Richie West right there to the back bumper of Trevette. Both of them pitted just a couple laps apart, but Richie does have about 2 laps fresher tires. And it looked like Richie was setting up to make the pass as they come down 3 laps to go. 3 laps to go. We might see a heck of a battle right here between Kellen Mitchner, Aiden Trevette, and Richie West. Oh, Richie is pushing extremely hard. Almost got the wall there. Coming up through the S's, he is definitely sending it trying to get up there. Meanwhile, Matt has opened up a over 2 second lead on David Garman. Larry Ashby is managing to hold the lead lap right now in 13th. He is the last car on the lead lap. Harley Barletta is the first car 1 lap down. Matt goes a little bit wide through turn 1 with 2 laps to go. He's just trying to take it a little bit easy, not push it too hard here. Kyle Holden back in 3rd, coming through the S's. Kellen Mitchner at the bottom of the S's. Aiden Trevette right there. He's managed to put a gap on Richie West. Aiden's now in 5th. 6th place is still Richie West. 7th, Jared Heasley, and he is now closing on Richie extremely quickly, as he is going to make the move. No, Richie gets the line into the bus stop. As they come around, they will pick up the white flag. Matt will pick the white flag up here in a moment, and we've got another 3-car battle going on back here. Matt Johnston is taking the white flag from the lead, 2-second lead over David Garman. And getting back here to this battle. This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th, as Richie West makes the pass for 5th. And Jared, looking to the inside, gets a little bit loose trying to get underneath Aiden Trevette. Move Richie West up to 5th. A heck of a performance out of him tonight. Back up front, Matt Johnston still maintaining. He's slowed down just a hair. It looks like he's got a 1.5 second lead. I'd imagine Garmin is sending it for all it's worth right now. But it's going to take a huge mistake by Matt for Garmin to close up. We might see Matt Johnston lock himself into the playoffs here tonight. Coming down, the flag man has the checkered flag in his hand. And Matt Johnston will win and lock himself into the playoffs. What a win by Matt. That is huge. David Garman comes home 2nd. Kyle Holden comes home 3rd. Now back to the battle with these 3. As they go into the final turn, Jason Rome right in front of him. Will he come into play here? Looks like he is staying low to let these 3 battle it out. Jared Heasley makes a move to the inside. Can't get it to stick. Richie West comes home 5th. 6th is Jared Heasley. 7th is Kellen Mitchner. Jeff Hinkle 8th. 9th will be Zach Henson. Maybe not. Oh, J.J. Parr trying to push it to get past Henson. He comes home 10th. And let's talk to Matt Johnston as these guys finish crossing the start-finish line. Hey, Matt, this is Doug. You got me? Hey, Matt Johnston, this is Doug. You got me?
Yeah, man.
Hey, yeah, I got you now. Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much. That was a hard race.
It looked like coming into tonight, you were 12th in points, but with Garmin having won, you were actually just outside of the playoffs. Now you've got yourself locked in.
Yeah, how about that? How about them apples, Doug?
How about them apples? Man, that I have to ask, that last lap, Garmin closed in a little bit. Were you just taking it a little bit easier, or was he just full sending it?
I think he was full sending it, and my tires. He saw me bobble, I think, coming to the white flag, and I think he knew if he gave it a little extra, he could get me. We had a little bumping together in the bus stop, and so I just let David know it was his day. But we got together there, and hopefully next time we have a little bit more cleaner, and see if we can have a real good race.
Man, that was you had opened up your lead to almost 3 seconds. I was cheering you on up here because that's truly impressive beating him and the way you did. That's a spectacular race, buddy.
Oh, thank you very much, Doug. Thank you guys very much for hosting these. It's been a pleasure racing with all these fine people.
All right, man. Congratulations. Go celebrate. Have a great night, buddy.
Thanks, man. You have a good night.
All right, that was Matt Johnson. You could tell that man is happy tonight. He had a great race going. David Garman comes home second. Kyle Holden third. Richie West manages to pull off fourth at the last minute. Aiden Trevette comes home fifth. Jared Heasley sixth. Seventh is Kellen Mitchner. Jeff Hinkle is eighth. Zach Henson is ninth. And J.J. Parr rounds out the top 10. And stick around for just a few moments. We will be right back with the Fast and Fun guys, Indy Cars from Vegas.